All right. So it's 6 o'clock. Thank you guys again for taking the time. I know we have very busy lives, or maybe just got off work, or in the middle of something else. But thank you guys again. We're just gonna go over to the introduction real quick. Awesome, perfect. So tonight's agenda is obviously just the welcoming. We're gonna do the introduction of our presenter, Jeff Delgado. And we're going to go over some basics, the company overview, the market opportunity, especially with everything going on. This is definitely something, it's very vital to us. Also technology. We're going to go over to the compensation, also next steps. But that's up for me. And up next is Jeff Delgado. It's all yours.
Hey, can you guys hear me? Hey, Jordan, can you hear me okay?
Yep, loud and clear.
How you doing? Hi, everybody. You guys should be able to see me now. Hope you guys can see me okay. Thank you guys for being on today. Excited to go over this presentation. The goal of the presentation is to not go too long, but I'm pretty excited about the information. So the first thing we're going to go over, if you look at this agenda, a little bit about myself, which I hate talking about, but I think it's important. Also, company overview, market opportunity, why we're excited about it, technology, compensation, how we get paid. And then last would be next steps if you're interested in working with us in some capacity. Before I get going, if you have questions and you want to type it in as I'm speaking, you're welcome to do that, okay? My name is Jeff Delgado. As you can see in the photo there on my left, I have a family of 4 of us and a dog, so you can say 5. And I've been married to my wife going on a good about a year. I've known her since 1986, and that's another long story for another webinar. But we've been blessed with 2 beautiful daughters and a great life. And being a part of the insurance industry and the financial services industry has been something part of my life for the last, 20-something years. I can't even believe I'm saying that. And I had an opportunity to not only be in the industry and see it from different perspectives, but I had a chance to be in different divisions of the industry, whether it be in the advisory side, registered representative, ran an OSJ, been an insurance agent, also did the mortgage business, did many different facets of the industry before we decided to kind of launch this iLeverage division. And we're really excited about it because what we believe it's going to give to you. As you see today, the world has dramatically changed. I think all of you would agree to that. Specifically going into 2021, I thought things were going to be great walking in 2021, and we're still, yet again, still in a pandemic, still dealing with the after effects of dealing with COVID. I've seen it go through my own family. I've seen it go through relatives and loved ones. So I know the impact it has not only on families, but also on businesses and what it's done for businesses. And one thing I could say that's kind of hard to say is that although the industry is going through, kind of a recession with unemployment and, people looking for their stimulus checks, the one actually did really well. Our business, we were actually much bigger than we were a year over. I won't get into how much bigger, but we were much bigger than we were the year before. And I don't mean to say that to brag. I'm saying that because of the industry you're in could also determine sometimes the impact it has regardless of the market fluctuations. So I don't want to get complicated. I just want to get more into what we could offer. Hopefully you get excited. I love talking to excited people who are excited about opportunity. I'm a little bit on the world where I believe things don't happen fast. I don't think there's a get rich quick. I think you can make money and you may get lucky, maybe offering some sort of stock, or maybe you're lucky with the lotto or something like that. But I think anything that's going to be long lasting takes time. I think anything, whether it's a business or whether it's a relationship, everything takes time to establish. So I'm going to get into a little bit of what we see as a business, and hopefully it intrigues you enough to be excited to want to align with us in some capacity, okay? So let's go ahead and get started. First, I want to welcome you to the webinar, and I love webinars today. How many of you probably happy your camera's not on? I mean, I've been on so many Zooms these days that, I get zoomed out. You ever heard of that? So we decided that we're just going to do it. We have a lot of people on this call. We decided we're just going to have only the presenter be on a video so that you can kind of relax, maybe just take note and listen and just enjoy. So you could be anywhere you want to be at home and just enjoy. Hopefully the information intrigues you. So let's go ahead and get started. First question is, who are we? What do we do? We are a financial services marketing company with over 100 years of experience. I say that making myself realize how old I am, but being in the industry for over 25 years myself, and you add our executive team, we're much older than 100 years old. We just didn't want to put 200 or 300. It would just look like, wow. But over 100 years of experience with our advisors and our agencies. We're a forward-thinking organization, and we're always in the forefront and looking at things as they change. And as the economy continues to move and shift, we get excited about that. We work with some of the largest insurance companies in the world. I'm not going to get too much into this. And we just aligned with a new partner. I'll get that in a second also. But we work with some of the largest insurance companies and many more of these. What that means is we are not subject to any one company's product or service. For example, let's say you've ever heard of Farmers Insurance, nothing against farmers, but if you work at Farmers and you have a farmer's agent, typically a farmer's agent offers Farmers Insurance. Is that right? You're not going to see a farmer's agent offering you State Farm or Allstate. Am I right? So being an independent and working for yourself and having access to numerous products and services gives you the ability to help many clients regardless of what programs are available, because you offer so many different types that could fit their goals and needs. One of the recent partners we just partnered with just recently is a program called United Healthcare. Now, many of you may have never heard of Medicare. Maybe if you're younger, you haven't heard of it. But if you're older, you probably heard of Medicare before. And if you're going to be hitting in your 65, mid-60s, you're definitely going to hear about it. But United Healthcare is the 7th largest corporation in Fortune 500, meaning the top 500 companies or corporations in the industry. United Healthcare is number 7, and we just partnered with them. So yes, we're not as big as Walmart or the Apple company, but we work with one of the largest Fortune 500 companies out there, and you also get a chance to, we'll talk more about that as we move on. So I'll get into that in terms of how we get paid and things like that later. So the first question I want to ask each of you is, have you ever considered working for yourself? Have you ever considered, maybe being an entrepreneur, or maybe doing something on the side, or have you ever considered that? I just want to make sure when I'm speaking to an audience, a lot of times I have many different people from different perspectives on how they see business and how they see their life. And I just want to show you something that I learned many years ago, and I think it could make an impact on you if you really dissect it, okay? There was a guy named Robert Kiyosaki, and he put together a program called the Cash Flow Quadrant. And if you heard of it, I get it, but I just want to show you a different perspective. And if you haven't heard of it, I think it could really make an impact. There's really only 4 places that a person has to choose in order to earn an income for their life. That means no matter who you are, you have to choose one of these 4 quadrants. So most people, if you look at the top left of this slide, most people choose to be an employee. Nothing wrong with it. It gives you great, what they call security, a job, you could go to every single day. Maybe there's benefits. But what they do at a job, which is 60% of the working population, actually after COVID, it went down to 56 or 58% after COVID. But about 60% of our country work at a job. So what they do is they exchange their time and effort for an income or whatever the position they're hired for. So they get a job, they get an hourly rate, or they get a salary. And, if they don't work, they don't get paid. They can't just say, I'm not going to show up, because they could be fired. Nothing wrong with it. 60% of our population are employees. Nothing wrong with that. Then another 35% of our population are self-employed. Self-employed is they work for themselves. So you can see someone like a dentist, maybe a guy who runs a hot dog stand. You've probably seen those food trucks, things like that. Maybe a restaurant owner, right? He works for his own restaurant, maybe like any type of real estate agent, a mortgage professional. These are self-employed people. They work for themselves, but they work a lot, okay? And sometimes they can work so much, they may not even have enough time to enjoy their life, but they work, and they have a great life. They own their time, they own their business, but they work a lot as well. So that's another 35% of the population. So 95% of our population are either A, employed, or B, self-employed. What I want you to look at is on the right side of this chart. She's gonna drink some water. On the right side, you'll see business owner. Only 4%, excuse me, of the population are business owners. A business owner is, they have systems working for them, not themselves. So for example, how many of you have ever been to McDonald's? And if you walk into a McDonald's, normally McDonald's is a franchise that is, you could purchase into a franchise for about $2+ million, and then you own the business. And then you could open up numerous franchises around the country. And every McDonald's kind of works the same. So it's not the same as self-employed, because self-employed is only running one restaurant, and he has to work that one restaurant. A business owner would have numerous restaurants or numerous systems running at the same time. Excuse me. So the business owner goes to a different type of perspective than a self-employed person, and that's only 4% of the population that are business owners. And then the smallest percent is the investors. The investors, not only do they invest in money to make their money work for them, they can invest in companies, they can invest in individuals, they can invest in many different, different sectors of the market, but they can also invest back into companies themselves. But investors are the ones that they have the highest income potential, because they can let other people work for their money. They're letting other companies work for them and other people work for them, and their money working for money. And that's the smallest percentage. The interesting part about this slide is that majority of the wealth, you see that little dollar sign on the right, 95% of our nation's wealth is held on the right side, business owners and investors. 95% of our nation's wealth is held on the right side, and that's only 5% of our population. 95%, the people on the left only control 5% of our nation's wealth. So if you ask, where's the money of these four quadrants, it's all on the left side, on the right side. The left side is all sharing 5% of the nation's wealth, where the right side is sharing 95% of our nation's wealth. So understanding that, the question would be, would you be open to owning your own business that runs a system so that you could also get into the investor side as well, meaning that showing people how money works at the same time watching your money and your business work for you by operating a business system, not you just working for yourself. That's the difference. I just want to make sure I get through that. Excuse me for having a little bit of a cough attack in there. But the bottom line was, if you understand this slide, you could appreciate the fact that we would like to get people from the left side to the right side. What I'm going to talk about today, believe it or not, is really meant for people who want to be on their own, but they could start part-time. I started when I was part-time. I used to work at Allstate Insurance as an employee. I was a customer report administrator. And then one day, one of my friends got me a job there. I was sitting in my little cubicle, and my cubicle, believe it or not, was next to the bathroom. And some guy was walking in, because our whole office was in some weird frenzy about these group of people that were coming in. And he was so cool. They had all the cool clothes, and they looked so cool. And I went up to him one day and I said, "Excuse me, sir, who are you? What do you do?" And he said, "Well, I'm an agent." I said, "What's an agent?" He said, "Oh, we're the ones who bring in the clients, and then you guys service those clients." And I asked him a question. I said, "Do you like being an agent?" He goes, "No, I don't like being an agent. I love being an agent." And I said, "You love being an agent? I don't get it. You love working?" And he goes, "Yeah, you should love what you do." And that changed my life, believe it or not. I always felt that if you don't love it, then why are you doing it? We only get one life. And my mother passed away when she was only 44 years old. My father passed away at 68 years old. And you only get one life. And if you're going to work at a life, and you're going to work and you're going to be alive today, wouldn't it make sense to do what you love, not what you have to do? So I decided that day I was going to find a way to own my own business and call my own shots. And that's where we are today. So I just want to share with you the journey and why we're excited. The company's name is iLeverage, and we are in the beginning. We haven't even launched yet. So if you're asking me on a 10-year cycle where we are, we're in our first year. We haven't launched yet. We're in the foundation phase. They would also call that pre-IPO days. This is when we're still new. We're in the startup phase. And if I ask you a question, when would you want to join a company? Would you want to join a company when it's already been established 20 years? Or would you rather be part of a company when it's starting up? Would you have liked to have been there when Google or Apple started? Would you have done it if it was there right in front of you? Interesting question, because if you had a chance to be there when it started, would you have had the foresight to say yes? And the reality of most, they're not, it doesn't seem normal to them to work for themselves, so they say no. So what I'm asking you is, if you could be part and work with us, would it be great to come in now? Or would it be great to come in later? My thought process would be best to come in early and be part of it in the growing phase. So that's why we're excited today. Now, we are trying to build nationwide. We're probably right now in about 5 states, but we're trying to get to all 50 states. So we are trying to grow. So the reason why you're on this call and we've invited you to be on this webinar is we're looking to expand. How do you find help? Well, sometimes to build a company, you have to find people that you know first and people that you want to work with. I think it only makes common sense to work with people that you want to be around you, that you're going to see all the time, and they become your closest friends and family. Is it true that sometimes when you build nationwide, you're going to want to work with people that you trust? So we invited, some of our agents invited people that they trusted or people that they wanted to work with to listen to this presentation. We're not looking for everyone. We're looking for people that are open, that know someone in our business that we could relate to and maybe get a chance to see if you want to work with us and spread the kind of message that we're trying to spread. And I'll get into that next. Our vision is simple: to educate and empower families on how money works. Now, I'm going to say something that may seem a little bit challenging, but did you know that the Dean Witters, you probably heard of that, Dean Witter, Charles Schwab, Merrill Lynch, you probably heard of those companies before, big companies. But the reality is they only really go after people who have maybe $4 or $5 million of net worth or liquid assets, meaning that they're not necessarily calling people who have less than $1 million put away or have in their bank account. So the average family doesn't get the same service as, say, a wealthy family may get. Does that make sense? That means the wealthy have CPAs, accountants, they have attorneys managing their money. But the average person, they have to take care of it for themselves. They get TurboTax. They get figure it out on your own. That's what they get. And when it comes to saving, retirement, life insurance, understanding how money works, they have to do the same thing, because if they look at someone's bank balance and they go, oh, he has less than $1 million, you could just figure that out on your own. And I'm saying this because I've been in the industry long enough to understand there is a market that's underserved. So our job is to bring the programs and services and products available that are available for the wealthy and bring them to the average person so they have it as well, to educate and to empower. That's our job. And we help businesses. We do a lot of clients that are also businesses. We do retirement planning for businesses, retirement planning for families. We do life insurance for families. We do what are called premium finance for families. We do a lot of different types of plans for our clients. So what we try to do is we call it empowering you, meaning that if you understand how money works, then doesn't that help you in the long run? For example, no matter where you go, there's always somebody who has an agenda, right? If you walk into the bank, the banker has an agenda. You walk into a car dealership, the car dealership guy, he has an agenda. But who has the agenda when it comes to your money? You have an agenda. Your agenda is your family. Your agenda is your business, or whatever, how you want to see your future. So what if we empowered you to understand the same programs? Then you could educate yourself, then you could educate families. I hope that just makes somewhat of sense. But to educate and empower, that's our main driver, to help people understand some basics. A couple of things that we look at. There's right now about 10,000 per day that are turning 65 years old per day, and 11,000 babies being born every day. So you're looking at 10,000 people turning 65 per day and 11,000 babies being born per day. So not only do you have a tremendous market that's retiring, you have a tremendous market that's coming every single day. So if you're asking how long this will last, you have enough business to last your entire career. That's what's great about the financial services and money business. We have a unique hybrid, and I won't get too detailed in this because it could get a little bit complex. But we combine the ability to have an independent agency and a career agency. All you need to know is it gives you more options, more flexibility. It gives you the ability to have great contracts. You own your book of business. We have some amazing programs. That's all that really means. So we call it a hybrid because most companies don't work in that nature. They work in more of a controlled fashion where you don't own your book of business. Here, you do. We're also utilizing today's technology. We believe, obviously, virtual environment is everything. Most of our sales today and our clients today, we're doing virtual. Imagine this, there's one test you have to take when you get licensed in the state. And today, that state, you take that license from home now. Isn't that amazing? You could get your licenses and all that stuff today, which you used to have to go to a class and go take it at some center. Today, although the pandemic obviously isn't great, but there are certain things that it did, like working from home, it made it much easier. And so they have taking tests from home. It's amazing. So the new world has helped us with technology, and we've been able to adapt and embrace that. So what does this all mean? We have set the stage for current and future generations to transfer and succeed their wealth. So we just teach people how money works. I want to show you a little bit of some exciting stuff, because this stuff to me is more of the nuts and bolts of why we're excited. But number one, you're able to be fully virtual. You could run your business wherever you are. You could work for yourself, work by yourself in your business, and be able to, at the same time, be able to build agencies across the country as well and have clients, okay? You're also able to help customers, and you're able to help businesses, okay? So if you have people who own companies, you can help them as well. We also do group health insurance. We could also set up companies' 401ks. I mean, there's so many different directions that we're able to handle in this arena. Technology, simplified upskilling. Basically, we have all the technology you need. We have our own app basically on the App Store, and also in terms of the Google Play. Our app is awesome. You're able to, do needs analysis. You could also run quotes for your clients. You could see all of our meetings and events. You could also pretty much handle everything in the palm of your hand, utilizing our mobile app. We just launched this app not too long ago, so really pumped. Has been doing some great work for us. But it gives you the ability to communicate with your clients just utilizing your phone, sending them quotes. It's amazing. All your training is on your phone. You could literally be on your phone and get trained on how to help a client in any different situation just for looking at it from your phone. It's amazing, okay? This is kind of a structure of our programs, and we're adding much more. You've probably heard of life insurance, retirement. These are just programs that people need and want. So if you've never been in this kind of industry, I don't want to say things that are just kind of out there. iLeverage is basically in the middle person or middle business that gets you in tune with all these different services that you're able to give to your client. So we're connecting you to major Fortune 500 companies, some of the largest companies in the world, and you're able to offer that to your client. That's basically the bottom line of who we are. We do pretty much every area, whether I said it earlier, personal and family, business protection, that's key person insurance, disability group insurance, employee retirement plans, senior market. I'll talk about that in a second. 403Bs, you probably heard of, like your 401k, index annuities, IRA plans. If you've never heard of this stuff, please don't let it overwhelm you. The bottom line is that we'll train you on all these things, and it doesn't require you to have to go to school for 4 years, okay? We're saying it's very simple. I come from a very simple background, and this changed my life, okay? I don't have a gigantic college background or anything like that, but because I understand the basics of how money works and basic programs, people love that. And you'll be able to be a huge asset to help the community and help friends and family that you know. So let me show you a little bit of how much money a person can make in our industry. I'm just going to give you some examples real quick. An average new person that comes in could easily make about $3,600 a month. So that's just basically helping 3 clients on just, some basic programs that we offer. You'll have to get licensed in order to offer our programs. This is not one of those, get rich quick things. There is a training side. You have to get licensed. You have to understand the products that we offer. But once you get licensed, these are just averages. We have people making more. We have people making less. So it really depends. As an executive director, you'll make about $9,000 a month. That's about $118,000 a year. We got people making more than that, even on a part-time basis. As senior vice president, you're making about a little bit more than $250,000 a year. That's about $19,000 a month. Now, these are just helping clients, and this is how much money a person can make just working for themselves. Okay, we didn't mention anything about building agencies. We're just talking about one client, one person helping many clients, one agent helping many clients. So the amount of income you can make is great. But the one thing I want to share with you is pretty exciting. Is there's a thing I mentioned earlier called Medicare. And how many would agree we're all getting older. Would you guys agree with that? Are we all getting older? Would you agree? I can't see your faces or anything, but I would assume you'd agree we're all getting older. And the thing about getting older, you start to realize that you really got to take advantage of when you're young, because eventually what you're used to do, you can't do it anymore. I remember I used to play basketball every day. I can only play basketball once a week, and I can't play for a month. So I remember things change as you get older. So wouldn't it be nice to work now while you're you're the youngest you're ever going to be right now, no matter who you are, whether you're 35, 25, or 55, or 65 on this call, you're the youngest you're ever going to be. And wouldn't it make sense that if you were to work today and you were to help a client, wouldn't it be nice to get paid for the rest of your life from it? What do you think? How would you feel if you could make an income for the rest of your life or something you did today? So let me show you this slide. You got to look at this very carefully. Medicare, I want to explain this to you. Medicare is something people qualify for. So I don't want to do a whole training on Medicare. But if you work at a job and you're paying into Social Security and Medicare, it's coming out of your check already. Does that make sense? And when you get to a certain age, you will qualify for Medicare, 65. And when you hit 65 years old, you're going to want to know someone to set you up with Medicare. There's no money out of your pocket. 90% of the programs that they set up today are free because you already paid for it out of your check all the years you were working. Does that make sense? So it's not like you're selling a client something. You're showing a client what type of Medicare program he already qualified for. So if you help, and they have these, they call them enrollment periods every year from October to December every year. They call it open enrollment. And in that 3-month period, everyone who hits 65 or people who have Medicare, they're looking to sign up for Medicare and they're looking for someone to help them. So if you did 50 clients, which is an average for the year, okay, for the whole year, you did 50 for the year, you're going to make $670 on just Medicare. I didn't talk about other products we were mentioning earlier, but on Medicare alone, you make $672 that first year. And then every year that he renews, because he has to keep Medicare every single year, you're getting an additional $336 every year from that client. Let me say that again. The first year you meet your client, you get $672. First, the same month you meet him, you make $672. The next year, when it renews, you get $336 every year until that person no longer either alive or he's not using Medicare anymore, but they only keep it for life. So in this example, you'll see year one, you did 50 clients, which is an average year. You made $25,000. Nothing to change your life possibly, right? Depending on where you live, $25,000 may not be a lot, but there's also other programs that we offer. I'm just saying just Medicare. And the year two, you do the same thing, but you get the renewals on year one. If you look at this section right here, you see that 13,000 right there. You add the 13,000 to 25, you actually made 38,000 in the second year. Then the third year, you do the same thing again. You add the 13,000 plus that. Now you're at 50,000. By the time you get to your fifth year, you're at a $74,000 annual renewable for the rest of your life with that client. So look, I'm at it for those clients. So you could have a retirement plan in 5 years. So imagine you come here, you get licensed, you offer a program that offers, they have no money to pay out of their pocket, but you get $74,000 a year for helping 50 clients a year for 5 years, and then you stopped. And you make $74,000 a year for the rest of your life. Don't tell me it doesn't get some of you excited. You'll say, well, Jeff, I could do more than that. Well, great. If you do 100 a year for 5 years, you're looking at 148,000 every single year. Plus these numbers increase with cost of living increases. So what this means to you is you work hard for 5 years and you could use this to be a retirement fund right here. So if you could do that today, wouldn't you do it? Medicare is going to be a big time in the next few months in October. Wouldn't it be a good time to get started and get trained? And by the time October open enrollment hits, you're ready to go. Depending on where you live and what part of the state you live in, we have other states on the call. We offer this nationwide. So anybody in this country, they're going to qualify for Medicare at 65, and this will be something you can offer. Is that exciting, or am I only crazy? I'm excited. That's amazing. That's a great example to add to this existing program here. So you add your money you make here on top of the residual you'll make on Medicare. So that is amazing, okay? Let me go to the next slide here. So let me just kind of recap everything we talked about. multiple market opportunities, meaning that we help every type of generation, whether it's a younger generation that need help on maybe saving money for their kids' college education, or maybe for retirement, or maybe they want to buy it and save for their first home, or maybe they just want to invest some money with our investment advisors. We could help that market. If they're retirees and they want to get a lifetime income, we could take care of them. We could take care of any family, so multiple opportunities. Can you hear me still? You can hear me, but can you see my slides, Brianna?
No.
I don't know what happened to my slides.
We can hear you though.
Okay, well, you could have multiple market opportunities and also highly competitive in terms of its compensation plan. You don't have to see the slides, only 2 more slides left. And we all do virtual training, and we also have a first-class carriers that you could work with as well. I think it's trying to go back on, Brianna, that's why. Couple of things I just want to say before we close out, and I want to also thank all of you for jumping on today's webinar. Number one, there's no cost to join our company. We don't charge any fees. You do have to pay for your licensing costs, which is a state requirement. And so as you do get your licenses, there's fees for that. We have classes starting as low as, I think, $59 to get your classes up and running. Most of your training you'll be able to receive online. And also we have audio and virtual training that you could also listen to from your phone, or listen to it, if you just want to look at it online. So pretty much whatever training you would need. Also, if you have a full-time job right now, we actually encourage it to be part-time. So you don't have to worry about quitting your job or having to, can I fit my life around it? Absolutely. We allow you to kind of build your business at your pace, and we train you as we go. We have a nice office here in Northern California, but we're opening other offices. We have another one in Southern California and also another one in Las Vegas. And we're opening many more as we continue to grow. And those locations, sometimes we have meetings and trainings there. If you live around those areas, you could always go to those live once the market opens up. Or if it doesn't, you could also watch it virtually from Zoom, because we normally do virtual training for all of our trainings as well. Outside of that, the next step for you, if you are interested in hearing more or wanting to connect with us, one thing I'd recommend is go to the Apple Store or go to Google Play and download iLeverage mobile app, okay? And when you put your information in there, it's just gonna ask you for your name and your email address. When you get your information there, that'll get you into our app where you can actually see a lot of our trainings. You could even practice and run some quotes. You could kind of see how everything works directly from the app. So that's, I believe, the first step you would do. Also, get with the person that invited you to come out and listen to this presentation and see if there's any questions that you may have. But I want to first thank you guys. I don't know, my screen just went off, but I want to thank you guys for listening and being on today's webinar. I look forward to getting a chance to meet all of you in the very near future and get a chance to work with you. I think there's no better time to work with something in the very beginning phases and not doing it when it's in the end. And we are right now in a very unique time, given the fact that during a pandemic, it's a great time to start preparing for this. So I just want to thank you guys again for your time and coming out. If you have any questions, please go ahead and type it in there. But if I don't see you or talk to you soon, God bless you. Be safe out there, everybody. And I'll talk to you soon. Thank you so much for joining our call. Thank you.